So it looks like we are live on Twitch and on YouTube. I cannot figure out LinkedIn right now, so we'll have to cancel that one. I'll figure that out next time. Let's delete that event. Goodbye. Okay. And we are going. All right, so I guess this is the first time that I am ever live streaming. Nobody is going to be watching this right now, which is absolutely fine. I'm mainly doing this for myself to keep myself accountable, maybe to watch back in the future, and to learn how I can improve as well. So let's have a look. How are we going to do this? So I already have the site open. So down the left here, I have my challenge development. So this is where I'm going to articulate what the challenge is that I think I'm trying to solve. I'm then going to move to the diagnosis. So really understanding what are the drivers behind the challenge, what's causing the problem. And then I'm going to build out a provocation. So this will be, like a how might we statement, and it's designed to keep me grounded and keep me focused on the task. We're going to do some customer development. This is all before the idea, so I'm going to attempt to understand the segmentation of the market, the type of roles and responsibilities that exist in the market. I'm going to move some insights and do some interviews with people that work in it to really try and get a better grip as to the challenge. And I'm going to include and build out some personas. So by the time we reach the end here, I should have a good sense of what I'm trying to do, the problems behind the problem, who it is that I'm trying to build for, and then I'm going to move into understanding who's out there already, who's doing what, who is filling in the gaps, what is it that they haven't got right. At that point, we'll move on to idea development. So we'll start to come up with different ideas and scorecard them so we can determine which of those ideas might be the best. We'll go into strategy. So how am I going to form the company? How is the money going to work? What does our product strategy look like? And do we need any partnerships? And I will probably make myself a lean canvas so that I've got that articulation of basically all the bits before here and why it matters in here. At which point we'll do form the business and hopefully start to build the product and go to market is the aim, I think. So let's have a look. I'm only going to be live today for half an hour because this feels very unfamiliar. But we'll see how we get on. Okay, so I think the first thing that I need to do, because it's not really ironed out yet, I want to do this challenge development because I think I'm getting closer to what this is and what the problem is, but I need to articulate this a little bit better. So what have I got so far? So there are 170,000 registered charities in the UK. That's true. Got that from the regulator. And these are active charities. uh, this is definitely true. And this is quite surprising considering that there's 100 billion um, of income going into charities across the entire market every year. And this is interesting. This is from a charity report, so I need a section in here where I can sort of house research or PDFs. So let me make a note of that because I will build that out after the live stream. That'll be my technical work for the day. So we're going to build let's call it a PDF repository. And that might eventually become a basis for my LLM to pull from as well. So build a PDF repository, and this is just probably going to be some kind of most basic database. I may just link to some temporary online storage, to be honest. I might not like a Drive or a Google Drive or Box or something like that. Okay, so build a PDF repository and add research and links. Lack of progress in these small charities are losing critical funds and resources. So yeah, I mean this is kind of right, but what am I really missing here in the challenge? So I think the problem is that there are a huge number of people in need, right? So some people need what they've got already, and then other people don't have what they need yet. And so there are a number of things that need to happen to get them that help. One, they have to be aware that help exists. They have to desire that help, and then they have to have the ability and the sort of the education and the reinforcement, right? So there's a lot of work that needs to be done from early marketing all the way through to service delivery and reinforcement. And some charities are lucky and have volunteers, which is awesome. Others have staff, which is also awesome. I firmly believe you should get paid for doing good. But I think that there's just a huge amount that a charity needs to do. I mean, it really is intense. You think about what a normal business has to do. Now imagine if you have multiple stakeholders. I think charities just have to do more than anybody else. So is there a technology crisis? I don't think this is right. I think there's more of like a time crisis. Don't want to use time crisis. Yeah, I think what I'll need to do is come back to this challenge because I think I have enough of it. I think I understand the challenge, right? What I'm trying to do is, do I understand? I'm trying to make life easier for charities, right? Ultimately, what I believe is that there are really incredible people in charities who are doing phenomenal work, and because they don't have the resources that they need, they are spending less time delivering benefit and more time running the charity. Maybe that's what it is. Let me take a note of that because I think that's a key thing that I will probably update in this challenge again. And I think this is good. I think what this live stream might be is an opportunity for me to talk out loud and just riff, right? Figure out what I need to do. And then what I might do is after the live stream, do the execution stuff, right? There are going to be some things that I can do very quickly that I can just execute straight away. There'll be other stuff that I want to do afterwards, but I think right now this is pretty useful. So what are we going to do? Yeah, okay. So I think I'm going to change this to focus on the people delivering benefit. Okay, so let's talk about the diagnosis. And this is actually good because I started to build this out yesterday in code. So let me get to that. So where is my diagnosis page? So we are in challenge. We're in the diagnosis. Okay, so let's see if I can tidy this up a little bit because at the moment, this isn't very readable. So let's just make this readable. We're going to make this into an ordered list. And what I'm doing at the moment, which I might have to figure out in the future, I am doing something in VS Code, but you are not going to be able to see that I'm doing it, which isn't very helpful. So I'm going to have to figure out how I can show you guys VS Code so that as I build this out, you can actually see what I'm doing. Because that way I'll probably find a way to do it faster as well. So let's say sub 1, we've got that. Okay, let me just see if I've even done that bit correctly. So what I'm hoping, so we'll do this. Ooh, close that tag. And then I'm going to save that and push this live. Okay, those changes have synced. In fact, what I could do, what I should be doing is developing this locally beforehand. So let me bring that up because this is the live version, so I don't need to worry about that so much now. We want, what is it that we want? Local host, that would help. There we go. Okay, so we're in challenge development, diagnosis. Let's see if we can tailwind prose this. I'm going to make it better or worse. That's looking a little better, isn't it? Love tailwind. Oh no, I'm back on the challenge, that's why. Okay, there are many reasons the UK charities aren't investing in digital maturity. Yeah, so okay, so let's figure out what these are. So we've definitely got a lack of strategic imperative. Let's just make that bold. And then we've got our list. Okay, so we want to do now the same. Baseline tools. Like funds, time, complex needs, software cost challenge. Then we're going to move these all in. This is going to make no sense to anybody that's watching this. This is fun. This is learning. I'm actually enjoying this more than I thought I would. Okay, complex needs. Let's put that there. Software cost challenge. What I'm trying to do at the moment is just organize this into a better way that's more visible, because whilst I have it, it's not really a good way of you guys being able to see it. You guys, no one's watching the stream, no one ever will. That's funny. It'd be kind of easier than I thought to have a stream of consciousness. Okay, so we've got that. All right, we're not going to be too long now. Maybe this might be something else that I do off stream in the future. It's just the nitty gritty, you know. I like the idea of having a record of all of this stuff, but I'm not actually sure that it is too valuable. Just waiting for me to fill in some HTML code. Okay. What this probably also means is that I should not necessarily be hard coding this in. But I think that's okay. You know, once I've got the HTML structure sorted, then I can always add that in later. You know what? Let's start there. Let's see if that did what it needed to do. Okay. Yeah, that's getting there. Okay. So maybe I need to talk through some of these. This will be the third task for today. So lack of strategic imperative. So I think one of the things that's been interesting in one of the reports is that a lot of the time the leadership of the charity just don't have that buy-in to digital or understanding of it, and I think it's beginning to change. But I think it's really hard, right, when you're running a charity to be really knowledgeable about technology. So I think sometimes there's just this lack of belief. Sometimes it's just going to be low priority, and sometimes it's unclear direction. So I don't think that I can solve this one necessarily, but maybe let's just add this in here because this is going to be, it's sort of like my notes as we go as well. And I know I can use something like Notion or whatever else to do this, but I don't want to. You know, I want to self-host all of this. Lots of other things I can do. So let's put in here. Okay, let's add a paragraph and say this is not for me to solve per se, but it does highlight an educational need. So when we figured out what the problems really are and how technology is the right thing to address them, then I may need to consider these points for the purpose of marketing. And that's sort of further down the line. So I don't think I need to worry right now about these challenges. I think I just have to be aware that they exist. And this actually this is annoying me. So what I'm going to do is change my max width. Min width to none, I think. Is that right? I'll soon find out. Nope. Maybe it's max width is none actually rather than min. There we go. And I may change this later, but that sorts that out. Lack of baseline tools. Yeah, so I don't know whether it's tools. I think there's a point at which you don't necessarily need technology because you don't have enough things to do with it. And then you go through a particular point in your charity's maturity curve where you suddenly need it, right? So it's not lack of baseline tools, it's lack of baseline maybe, right? So no CRM. In fact, you know what? This actually goes before data. So this is, and maybe this goes, yeah, no, I think that's okay. So lack of strategic imperative, lack of baseline. So we could say no mission, vision, strategy, right, in general. no recorded data. So let's say sort of data lake, CRM, assets, right? Because if you don't have lots of pictures, you don't have a need to manage all of this stuff, right? You've got your need at the start is very small. And maybe it's lack of awareness. I feel like some of this is starting to trip over the strategic imperative, but I think that's okay for now. Let's just have a quick think about this. So then, lack of baseline. What do I want to say about this? One of the things I'll have to think about is what needs to be there for a charity to get started with my solution. Now, this is more of a product piece, or whether I want to go right from the start. Right? And in some ways, that might be easier because, right, if you have a feeling of what you want to do, but you haven't yet articulated or formulated your mission, your vision, your strategy, it's sort of what I'm doing now, right? Like this whole process that I'm going through could probably be put into a technology to make it easier for you to interact with others, with AI, with all the rest of it, right? To be able to come up with that baseline. So maybe I can use generative AI to help people reach the baseline faster. Oh, and then this will also be, I guess, lack of payment system, right? There's no way for people to contribute, or lack of contribution system. So they'll always just have things like PayPal, which I don't think is particularly great. I think we can do something better than that. Okay, let's save that now. I need to change these titles. So let's, my third task for today is to update titles and descriptions for diagnosis. And you know, one of the things that I might do, diagnosis, all right. One of the things that I think I'm probably going to do is what? I think one of the things that I'll probably do is maybe use the recordings of these sessions, strip out the audio, take the text, and ask ChatGPT to pull the signals out of the noise, I guess, for want of a better term. Okay, this is good. We've got 7 minutes left. So, lack of funds. I mean, this one is pretty obvious, I think. So I think for most people, when you donate to charity or when you give money, you don't necessarily want it to be used for technology, right? Or for administrative things. You want it to go to benefit the people at the end. And I think one of the problems is it's difficult. Here we go. It's difficult to tie fund use to outcomes. So if I tell you, hey, I want a MacBook, give me X amount for it, it's difficult for me to be able to say, and here's all the benefit that a certain number of people are going to be able to get. But I do think that's a problem, right? Because then when I report up, I'm not going to be able to say, hey, good news, I used your money to buy equipment, right? What I want to be able to do is say, hey, good news, your money meant that we could get this thing, which meant, and ends with, and these people or these things got this benefit. So I still want to tie the money to benefit, but I'd kind of like to see the benefit path. I think the other problem is, so some of it is difficult to use. What do I want to do? It's difficult to type unused outcomes, resulting in lower donations. And I think what goes to that is yeah, I think this third one that I had before, right? The operational cost stigma. So I think that's still a good piece. Maybe that's combined. Can't generate enough. Yeah, so I need to take out the word now. So maybe with this one, what this is how. No, this is not a problem. That's fine. So think about how we could make any software free. How do I not spend any funds? Right, because that would solve the lack of funds problem. If I don't need funds to buy the software, then I don't need funds, right? So that seems pretty obvious. How do I not spend any money? How about that? So I think that's going to be a big one, right? How do we make this software free? And how could whatever we build not just get money for people, but how could it what? How could whatever we build not just get money for people, but how could it improve education? And try to benefit. Okay, I don't know exactly what that means yet, but I am used to sort of scrapping this all together until we get there. So let's see how that one's looking now. So we've got lack of strategic imperative, lack of baseline. I really need to find a better title than that. Lack of funds, lack of time. You know what might be quite nice is I might maybe I'll accordion this because this is going to be a lot of text. So I'd love to just give you these sort of headlines, and then maybe I'll reorder them in terms of priorities. So that'll be the next thing I do. So we're going to or accordion, or I guess I could also hide this behind a button. Accordion the diagnosis. Okay. Lack of time. We've got 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to finish on lack of time today. Then what I'm going to do, I think we've already talked about complex needs a little bit, so I'll flesh them out after this session as well. So I flesh out complex needs. That'll probably be enough for today work-wise. And then maybe what I'll do during the next live stream, which might be tomorrow, I'll look at fleshing this out, right? The software cost challenge, because I think that is a big problem, right? Like this ties to lack of funds. So this, I think, is going to be, frankly, a major driver. This might have to be priority number one. So let me lack of funds. Or maybe the lack of funds tied to the strategic imperative, and tied to that operational cost stigma. So I do like that one. Okay, anyway, so lack of time. I think it takes time to go through tools, right? So I've got to investigate each of the tools. Have I still got this up on the screen? Yeah, so I've got to investigate the tools. I've got to move from one thing to the other. I've got to onboard and use. So this just feels like a lot of work. So I don't want to do it. So what I'm going to have to do is figure out like how think about how we could make discovery and transition as simple and easy as possible. Right, so this might include like a chat-based discovery website. That's what I'm thinking about. That is I hate websites because I've got to look for your features, and then I've got to trawl through a whole bunch of stuff to find out what I want to know. Really, what I love is for you to have all of that stuff if I want to navigate, but then just to ask your bot a few questions and to source from that information. Right, so you can very quickly find out if I'm right for you or not. And then integrations, excuse me, or sort of like exports, or yeah, I'll have to come back to that one. I think this is a product marketing and product problem. Product problem. So in fact, that's the last thing we'll do today. If I just close off this one. And if you are watching this, I'll be very surprised, but thank you for doing that. And the next ones will be more entertaining, I hope. Okay, so this is marketing. Oh, close off that tag. I am not very efficient in doing this. Need to get better. Okay. How are we doing? There are many reasons UK charities aren't investing in digital maturity: lack of strategic imperative, lack of baseline funds, time. It's a marketing and product problem. This is a business problem. This is a business financing problem. I think this ties to the software cost challenge, right? Like, it's expensive to build software, it's expensive to run software, so you need to be able to make money somehow. And I think most of the time when we think about making money, we think about it from a you pay for my product perspective. It's not how charities work. So maybe this needs to be as a non-profit. Investigation. Oh, in fact, actually, sorry, I have missed one in here. It's not just the investigation time. I'm too busy being busy. Right, this will be something that I think makes sense to everybody. Okay, business financing problem, lack of baseline. I don't know what this is. Maybe it's maybe this is a maybe this is a maturity problem. So I think this feels like a marketing and product problem. So yeah, let's do that. Marketing and product problem. And then lack of strategic imperative. What did we say that was? That might be an education. Yeah, that's marketing. So marketing problem. Okay, so I think that will do for today. What have we done? So we've highlighted, I think, where we need to tidy up this challenge. I've identified 5 things that I need to go and do after this. This is looking much better now from where it was before. Still a lot of work to go, but we can finish off the diagnosis, I think, during the next live stream. And then we can move on to our provocation. So the last thing I might do at the moment, I've just got a bunch of lorem ipsum. So probably my 6th task is add titles for the provocation. Okay, so this will give me, theoretically, I'll be able to validate this with people that work in there, right? If I send them, hey, here's the challenge, this is my diagnosis of the problem, here's the provocation. Do you agree? Is this the right thing? And I think this feels right. But we'll find out. We'll develop our customers more. We'll develop through competitive research and then ideas. But I think this puts us on a good track. Cool. All right. So I'm going to attempt to stop streaming. If I disappear, goodbye.